Hello, and welcome to another exciting, hopefully, episode. Probably the final episode for season 1. Possibly. Might be the second to last episode of Star Trek Europa for the season. I'm your host, as always, Jeff Harvey, sometimes known as Dr. RPG, but that's rarer and rarer nowadays. You can find me all over the place at Studio Tembo. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and all the places, so check us out there. If this is our last episode, we're going to take a short break. Afterwards and come back for season 2 when we know when we're going to do season 2. In the meantime, let's go ahead and have introductions. Evelyn, you're at the top of the page. Go ahead.
I am Evelyn Corbin. I play Dr. Desave Onayet. I'm going to plug my TikTok because I have 2 whole TikToks now, and I'm very proud of it.
Nice.
You can find me on TikTok at Caffeinatrix. That's with 2 X's.
Yep. She's friended with me, so if you can't find her that way, you can find her through me on TikTok. So.
Yep.
Brian, go ahead. I almost forgot your name, Brian.
My name is Brian.
You're an integral member of our crew, Brian.
No, I honest to God almost forgot my own name a little while ago. So,
my name is Brian. I'm playing Captain Jorad Heaj for now. I would like to plug the concept of geese. Geese are pretty awesome.
They're loud as shit when they're sitting outside your window, though.
Yeah, I'll close my window. I'll be right back.
No.
No, you're fine.
Leave them open.
I can't hear them
Bring
right
us
now.
geese.
There are other days. It's all right. We've shunned him and he's gone away.
No.
Jack, Jack, you're next.
Yes, hello. I'm Jack. I will be playing Commander Arani Ambrose, at least for the moment, as well as several other fantastic characters that I enjoy so much. I have the interesting announcement that we just finished up our chapter finale of our Dungeons & Dragons campaign over on my channel, twitch.tv/The People's Ascension. So we're going to be without any more Dungeons & Dragons until the beginning of next year. But that does not mean that I won't be doing anything. I'm happy to announce the pilot of a brand new series that I am trying out called RPGs Uncovered. We're going to look at smaller TTRPG systems, with a preference for indie and smaller creators, and then work our way up from there. But we're going to take a look at really any sort of non-D&D TTRPG system, break down how easy it is to learn those rules, just get to the core mechanics, and learn what you need to know to run your first game. We're going to provide an example sort of playthrough mini series between 3 and 5 episodes, go all the way from session 0, where we talk about the game, talk about the tools, talk about the themes, build characters, all the way through a little mini arc, and then do a complete critical analysis of the system afterwards. So that is going to be running from now, for now, from November 6th up until just before the holidays in December, depending on how long it runs. So if that sounds cool to you, go check that out over on twitch.tv/The People's Ascension. I'm also on Twitter at PPLS Ascension, and I got my own Discord, which you can find through our Twitch page. Anyway,
yeah,
you do this one.
Let's play some Star Trek.
Get your
Princess
hands on
Bride.
this one and review this one.
All right. I mean that looks like a bigger system than some indie developers,
on
but
Fate.
we'll we could get to that. I do adore me some Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's Fate system, so it's not too difficult. And any Fate games you would do would be the same as that. It adds a grandfather mechanic, which is really funny.
Cool.
Any suggestions you need on RPGs? I own at last count
an entire store.
Well, an entire store, but just in my house, I have over 300 different systems. So
yeah, I have a huge list. If this pilot series goes well, I mean, this could be what I'm doing for the next couple of years.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just with the books on the shelf behind me, I think you get 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's go ahead and start our recap for the last session. Some interesting developments occurred. Ev, I believe. Well, anybody who wants it, but I think Ev, you had some notes.
I do have some notes. So our away team did fortunately safely beam aboard Toshiri's ship and didn't wind up on a enemy Romulan ship. The ship was under attack. Toshiri had initially told the group, go to your quarters. We've got this covered. Also, you don't really know our ship very well. However, as we were being escorted back to our quarters, one of the ship rocked and one of the conduits exploded, injuring the guard. We got the guard to their sick bay. We fought some
Enemy
other bad
Romulans.
Some
Yeah.
enemy Romulans.
Completely disintegrated one.
Yes, indeed. Well, Cherka became a medic briefly. The problem with doing split scenes is I have to go back and forth and look at my paragraphs to try and put everything together for the recap. Cherka got a signal boosted and sent it. Sent over all of the data on the Iconian date and other evidence to the Europa, which the captain was able to use to finally, at seemingly the last minute, convince Marjad?
No,
No.
the other one.
Martok?
No, the other
No,
one.
the other, or Kargan.
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 There you go. So many names.
Yeah.
You
should see it on
that-
my end.
Oh no, I'll bet. I have been, and I got all caught up in the story last week and forgot, but I have been highlighting names to help them pop out for recaps. So Kargan joined our end of the fight. The captain went down to engineering because the Europa was in some seriously bad shape. We had lost power to pretty well everything. We were running, at one point, I think we were just running on emergency power. And we were about to be dead in the water. So he went down to engineering, leaving Dasavi in charge. Dasavi panicked a lot in her head, but didn't get us blown up. Thanks to the Peregrines working on the outside, and not so. Yes, Silva? I got my names right.
Say that again.
Silva was at home, right?
Silva, yeah, she was
yeah.
piloting the ship. Yeah. Mhm.
Yep. Silva swung us around, got us out of there as soon as we got power up, and lit the plasma that had been leaking out of the ship on fire. But unfortunately, the captain, in a very heroic last ditch effort to get everything done, knocked his own self out and did himself some severe damage. Tong found, what's that?
Lethal dose of radiation, I
Yes,
think was the
lethal dose of radiation. Tong beamed into the nacelle room, grabbed a med kit, tried to help him. Tong did some quick engineering work and got the transporters up just enough to get, I think, was it just Heaj and Dasavi to the sick bay?
Yep.
Yeah. So Dasavi had told the Fiend, get your ass down here with the quickness, and then promptly come back and said, I found
which to
myself
point
suddenly
out
in the med bay.
is a huge accomplishment for a transport engineer. A split site to site transporter control
It was very impressive.
from outside the transportation room.
Right.
Yes.
I was on fire this last episode.
I have on my notes, Tong promotion.
Captain Tong reporting for Kuwait.
Yes. I mean, Ambrose said he wasn't really ready to be captain yet.
Yeah, I mean, We had an ensign in command before. We can just promote Tong to full captain, and there we go.
There you go. That's how you get around that problem.
Yeah.
So we had left off with Heaj in sickbay. His abdomen was bulging and moving in a very disturbing fashion. He had suffered severe radiation poisoning. His body was shutting down. There was a possibility to stabilize him, but it was very, very slim. And there was no realistic way to stabilize both him and the symbiont. And so we kind of left with that.
Okay. Just getting a bunch of messages. So, with that, does anybody else have anything they want to add? Okay.
There is the still loose end complication of Commander Toshari sort of kind of maybe working underneath, or at least unbeknownst to, the general Romulan Star Empire, who's probably going to get into a lot of trouble for what she helped us do.
Entirely possible.
There's that to look forward to, because I don't think we actually did we get the two parties reunited by the end of last. Yeah, so we're coming to that. Yeah.
Yep, we're coming to that.
I have that at least initiation to that in my head.
Okay. Okay. So when we last left off, there was the scene in sickbay, and I don't exactly remember how that went down. I was going to recap that entire thing, but I didn't rewatch it, so I forgot how it went down. But you were conducting the surgery. You had successfully removed the symbiote.
Yep.
And placed the symbiote in a temporary stasis. And then you've had essentially that's where we're at. So you've conducted the surgery. You've placed the symbiote in stasis, and Heaj is likely unconscious at this point. You can revive him if necessary, but he does not have long without the symbiote to live.
I presume at this point, him being conscious would be very painful for him.
I mean, you can medicate him. You could certainly make it so that he was, comfortable enough.
Okay. Brian, if it's okay with you, I would like to have, because I feel like this is something Dasavi would do. I'd like to have her revive Heaj long enough to say goodbye to his wife. Pull up the wife on screen in the med bay.
Sure, yeah.
So once the dust has settled and it's the symbiote is as taken care of as it's going to get for right now, she'll hail Narendra and put it up on screen and revive Heaj. The wife has already been apprised of the situation because you told me already to contact her because she was on the council and be able to advise us as to what to do with the symbiote from that point. So it's not like I'm just for the viewers who don't remember from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The wife knows what's up.
Yeah. She comes up on screen. There's definitely a look of mourning on her face. Like, I'm not sure she expected. You're not entirely certain she expected to see you again. At least not, breathing.
Mm-hmm.
The children are not there. I think your children were not on the station, right? They were. I don't think we decided that.
No.
But they are not there. They're not present. Oh, hang on.
Okay. I think when Jorah becomes conscious, he has like a ghostly pallor to him. His organs are shutting off one by one without the symbiote there to sustain him. And I don't think his mind is all there either. It's like having a piece of your brain yanked out and expecting to operate. But the one thing that, if there's one thing that he's going to remember, no matter how much of his brain is removed, is that he loves the person on the other side of the comm. And when he sees her, his eyes open a bit wider, and he says, Kane, I'm sorry. Looks like I can't remember what happened.
She has a obvious catch in her throat, and as she gasps, Jorad, just rest. It'll all be over soon. You can see the tears, a couple of tears streaking down each side of the face. She's clearly trying to hold it together.
Mm-hmm. Tell the children that I love them and that I'm proud of them.
She kind of turns her head to the side. I will.
I love you.
I
Goodbye.
love you. And then you can see her kind of choking up as she closes her eyes, just as the screen cancels, shuts off.
And then I think his last moments are he turns to Desavi and he just gives her like a small smile, like just the same kind of like pleasant smile he had every day when he went into work and prepared to get the job done. The kind that would show his enthusiasm for what he was doing. And he gives her that smile, and then his head just loses the strength, and then just his eyes still open, he sags on the table.
The insurance meter on the back wall flatlines. And let's go to the intro.
Stay here. If we meet in
Yeah,
the middle,
that's-
we can cut that shit down.
Right.
There you go.
All
There you
right.
go.
So we're back. Let's go ahead and start with what you want to do, Ev.
So Desavi will
Now in
Take a
command
beat.
of the ship,
right now in command of the fucking ship. I don't think we really need to finish out in the sick bay, so we can just kind of pop to.
Yeah, there's not much
Ready
else
room.
left to do there.
Yeah.
They don't really need much of an autopsy, and even if we did, we're not going to do that on camera. So
Right. So Desavi's just gonna be in the ready room. She's gonna hail Ambrose.
So Ambrose, you and company are aboard ship. I don't know if we ever actually discussed the escape that happened, but eventually the Romulan ship did manage to get free enough, cloaked. It's damaged and it was fleeing, headed back towards the rendezvous, or towards where the Europa was going to originally meet with them. The ship has been kind of on an over. The term that I would actually use is overcast. Everything has felt kind of misty and dark, kind of like a somber day in the middle of summer that it's going to rain all day kind of thing.
Like you just committed treason and you don't know what to do now.
Right, like you and your entire crew have just committed a massive treason, and your crew may not have been necessarily willing to do so. Also, a lot of people died on this ship trying to get you out and try to get the ship free. And you haven't really spoken to Toshari since this happened. She's been kind of distant, and you guys have been sort of not really sequestered to your section of the ship, as it hasn't been stated you can't leave that area, but no one has really said anything beyond, you can go anywhere else. So when a message comes through to you from being relayed in from one of the comms officers, Commander Ambrose, it appears that there is a message from Starfleet from the Europa.
Patch it through. Thank you.
He clicks off, and his face is replaced by Dasabi.
Commander.
Doctor?
We have run into a very... doesn't matter. What is your status?
I am getting a ride home as planned before. We are en route. The boat's a little shakier than promised, but she'll hold true, and we'll get around.
How far out do you think?
4, 5 days.
We have 3. I understand very little of the situation other than to know there is a situation. However, time is very much of the essence, and we need to rendezvous sooner rather than...
I take it there's a reason I'm not talking to Heaj.
Yes. Duras.
That's all I need. I'll talk with the captain. There's choppy waters out here. As was a saying back home, way back when. Stand by for rendezvous coordinates. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Bobby out.
Screen cuts off.
All right, I need to go find the subcommander.
Okay. Let's see.
I assume that there are guards of some kind, maybe not keeping us inside, but watching our door. I can just pop out and be like,
oh, absolutely, yeah. You can let someone know that you have an urgent message for her, and the Centurion you talk to tells you that he will relay the message, and she will get back to you when she is available. Maybe 10 minutes or so before she messages you, before she calms you, and the comm message comes through and says to meet her in her quarters, which the Centurion will walk you to.
Sure.
When you arrive at her quarters, the door slides open. There's a low music playing. It's you can't tell what it is necessarily, but it's you're not probably up on classical Romulan music, but it's somber.
Only nursery rhymes.
Yeah, just nursery rhymes. It's a somber music, and there are several bottles of a bluish liquid, half empty, around the room. 2 or 3 different bottles, and a number of glasses. She smiles a little, or she fights back a smile a little bit as the door opens. Oh, Commander, come in.
Quite an ambiance you have here.
I've been trying to work through some problems. Please have a seat. Can I offer you a beverage?
Well, it seems you already have them open. Might as well.
I was trying to find the correct vintage, and she pours you something and hands it to you. Turns out that if you drink several of them, you can't tell the difference anyways.
That is my understanding as well.
What can I do for you, Commander? As she sits down on the couch, kind of in a lump, and tries to maintain a casual air.
I hate to throw another problem at you, but I have been in contact with my ship. I'm sure you're aware. They've requested a rendezvous sooner rather than later. There seems to be some sort of emergency, and I think given the state of cooperation that we've been in thus far, could be beneficial to both sides to have a bit of a talk out in open waters.
I see. She reaches around, fumbles around a little bit. She sets her glass down and fumbles around a little bit, looking for a pad, and she finds one. And is there some kind of timeline? And she starts scrolling through. You can hear the whizzing of maps go by on the thing. The same sounds you hear normally when you guys are zipping through maps on your pads.
I was told we have a deadline of 3 days. I was told by the doctor, so I assume it is a dead line.
I see. The ships, I believe that the Europa's top speed is, if my information is correct, around 9.8. You can hear her clicking some buttons. We're currently at limited power, but if we push things, we can reach. I believe we can rendezvous at these coordinates. And she hands the pad back to you. If that is acceptable, I will have my team, or I will have my officers relay that to the Europa.
That'll work. How's the ship faring?
It'll survive. Repairs will be completed in a few days, but...
If you're not worried about any state secrets, I do have an excellent engineer with me.
I believe I've sacrificed enough state secrets for now. Although I suppose they can only hang you so many times.
And I swig back the last half of the shot I was sipping. You know, it doesn't have to come to that.
What would Starfleet do in the same position? A centuries-old enemy gives aid, access to a top secret ship, a top secret location, attacking the Tal Shiar, or in this case, your Starfleet intelligence, destroying an entire station of assets that the Empire could use, or in this case, the Federation could use.
The difference is the Federation is a unified government. To my knowledge, at the very least, we're not as fractured as your empire. You're in a civil war, whether you know it yet or not. You don't need to be an enemy to your own state when you don't know the state of your own state.
Yeah.
We've worked together before. The Romulan Empire and Starfleet. This is a further extension of that alliance. An alliance that I think could benefit, as it has before, both sides, to the detriment of the dissidents in your own administration.
I can only hope the Senate sees it that way. I made
I'm
the right
merely-
decision, Commander. I don't regret the decision I made. It is simply going to be difficult to come to terms with the reality that I may have betrayed my people, even if it was for the right reason.
Sometimes in war, the people back home sitting in the high-backed, cushy chairs don't have all the information. You did what you had to. I'm just saying there's other options. I'm not saying they're good options. But
Perhaps we'll
Don't-
find a way to discuss those options sometime. She kind of smiles and picks her drink back up. In the meantime, I believe there's an Earth expression. She raises her glass. Salut.
one of many. Prost.
I will get you back to your ship as quickly as I can, Commander.
I appreciate that.
You may stay and drink if you want, but I'm going to turn the music up very loud. As she reaches for a little pad on the edge of the little interface on the corner of the table and starts tapping it. The music starts getting quite loud. Right.
I think we can end that scene with the two of us just lingering in front of the doorway, and it's not really certain whether I stay or go.
Okay, I can do that. Back aboard the Europa. Let's go ahead and close this one and this one. Back aboard the Europa, Dasabi, you get a message relayed from the Romulan ship with a coordinates for rendezvous.
Yep. I will. I don't think we've gotten a ship update yet. Bridge to engineering.
Engineering here.
What's our status?
Well, now that we've got power, I'm able to. We're a little banged up, but we've got power, so I can. What do you need?
Max warp.
Max warp? Okay, hold on. There's 2 max warps. Do you want
The
max
fastest
warp?
one.
All right, I can give you maybe 12 hours of that before
Better than
she
nothing.
starts taking permanent damage.
I'll take what you can give me.
You got it. And then you hear his voice. All right, you lugs. When the doctor says maximum, she means maximum. And then the comm cuts out.
She will send the coordinates over to Helm Silva Platacourse and get us there as quickly as possible.
Aye. Doctor, where's the captain?
No longer with us.
Aye. I'll plot a course.
Thank you.
Where's the captain? On a Romulan ship, we're going to meet him over there. So the ship goes into warp. Kostra, you managed to get about warp. Normally the ship can max out at warp 9.75. You're getting it around 9.8. You and Tong and a few other people are trying to get the last little bit out of her. But with the damage he's taking, everything else, it's a struggle. There's a lot of stress and tension going on down in engineering right now.
It's all hands on deck to keep the antimatter coolant flowing and that kind of thing.
Right. Does anybody else have anything else they want to do at the moment? Anything like on the Romulan ship or here?
No, we don't necessarily need to do it on screen, but Dasavi will just kind of check in. She'll have left sick bay under Define's command, and she'll just check in from time to time, privately in the ready room, just getting the status of the symbiote.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to describe the symbiote if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So normally it looks a little like a horseshoe crab, and it's like a deep salmon color. It was when you got it, but it has definitely been growing paler and paler and kind of flattening. It seems to be losing shape. Yeah.
Weakening, not able to hold muscle tone.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think if I want to do that scene right now or not. I think no.
Is it losing shape at a rate that indicates we still have the 3-day timeline, or like we need to figure out some temporary measures?
You're still on pace, so I mean it's definitely like it's going to require some skilled nursing and medical work, but short of you've been reading up on things obviously, and you can use a human host temporarily. It was done on the Enterprise almost a little over a decade ago. So it is possible, but it's really not. It's not ideal for the symbiote, and that symbiote was in much better condition than Heaj currently is. So it's hard to say what would actually happen, whether or not the human or the symbiote would actually benefit from that.
Would any of the enhanced Klingon tech that we have help extend the life?
That's a good question. Go ahead and give me a medical roll. I'm going to say the difficulty is going to be 3. Yeah, this is a new session too, so I get all my hate back. Give me all my hate back.
Can I assist with Delphine?
Yeah.
Or Delphine? Sorry.
It's 2, 4, 6. I get 8. So.
My Xenobio apply here?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use one of those momentums that we have.
Could somebody roll a d20 for me? I forgot to actually join the campaign.
Oh.
I always forget because we could see it on Jeff's
right.
screen, so I forget that I don't have it up.
It's a 13.
Okay. And the ship can assist too here, right?
Yes, it can.
Nice.
She assists with a 12.
Brilliant. That's 6 successes.
Nice.
And then you can also re-roll one d20 in your pool because of Chief of Staff from Delphine.
Although I don't think you need to. I think they're all successes.
Yeah.
Sure. I just wanted to note that.
Re-rolling is asking for trouble that we don't have right now.
Right.
Though I do see that Jack, in his attempt to belatedly help, did roll his first 20 of the night.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a good thing Jeff was quicker on the trigger finger, because I would have rolled you a complication.
Yeah. You're lucky. All right, so you get back I said 3 momentum, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can find some what you find from the Klingon tech that you have available is that some of the Klingons have an enhanced healing rate caused by Borg nanobots. You could adapt the Borg nanobots to work in the suspension that is that Heaj is currently in. But it is Borg nanobots. So there's always that risk that they're, Borg nanobots.
Borg Heaj.
What do you think Hatred wants you to do? I just want that thought to enter your mind for a second.
I'm actually, if we get to that point, I'm going to hold off on that. But if we get to that point, the plan is totally to telepathically connect with the symbiote.
I can just imagine we have Dasavi just contemplating behind her desk, and then we have the spiritual form of Heaj over here and the spiritual form of Ambrose over here. It's like, you can't do that. I will shoot him. No, you have to. It's the only way to survive. We're talking Borg here. I mean, they're really just robots, and we've integrated robots into the system.
I mean, one of my values is with great risk comes great reward. Introducing Borg nanobots into the symbiote is totally something I would do if it comes to it.
We may have to push that boundary there.
Today I'm the shut up Josh.
So yes, that's what you get. There's definitely the possibility there.
Okay.
Delphine is back on the bridge. I think let's do a quick scene with Tong and Eva. Did I ever come up with a picture for Eva? I think I did. I don't know if it's a picture I really wanted to use, though.
Back during the Helleron station, you had a picture, but it was said it was kind of an amalgamation of that station's AI and her. So it wasn't really her.
There it is. So, Tong, you are completing some of the final connection stuff, like you're refining Eva and her interface in order to get that extra little bit of warp speed, because she can help tune the engines a little bit faster than human hands can. You're still an ensign, right? So, Ensign Tong, do you have a moment for an inquiry?
I suppose so. Very busy, very busy. But yes, talking is good while working. What can I do for you, Eva?
Can you explain to me the rush that we are in? The commander or the captain, I understand, is no longer is offline.
Oh, right. Yeah, he wasn't looking so good, and I've been busy, so I haven't really checked in. But well, that's very sad news. Very sad news. I'm sure the doctor is doing. What was the question?
The need for this pushing of the ship, the high speed, after such a substantial damage that we have taken. I am trying to simply understand the reasoning to put the ship in greater danger.
Oh, I don't think I have all the information. I still have only one little pip here, so they don't tell me much. And honestly, I don't ask. A lot of very important questions at least. I think the commander is not here, so I assume we're going to get him and something.
I see. The captain and I had several short conversations about symbiosis.
Right? Mm-hmm.
I am curious as to what will happen next with the joining. My experience with touching other minds has been troubling. I'm curious as to what the next phase that we experience is. Would you be able to accept symbiosis?
My tongue actually puts his tools down for that, and I don't know. I'm not sure I want to find out, though. Really, I don't. We eat slugs. I don't know if we'd really like. I don't think I really want.
Uh,
I don't think so. I'm not a doctor, though, so I'd really just probably rather not.
I see. Once you are finished here, Ensign, I believe that there is something on deck. There is a coupler on deck 3 that is beginning to fail.
Oh no! Oh, that is a very important coupler. Okay, all right, I got this.
We'll end there. All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to do before the rendezvousing? Okay. Dasavi. Not Dasavi.
Yes.
Yeah, Dasavi. Whichever one's in charge now.
It's Javi.
Ambrose isn't there yet. Also not there. Where'd I put her? Must have closed it. You were on the bridge, and you were informed by your flight officer, as is standard procedure, that you have arrived at the rendezvous coordinates. Your tactical team, who I believe is Koba right now, would advise you that there are no other ships on sensors at the moment.
Okay.
So, with that, what you want to do? There's not a lot to do, but do you have anything you want to do? Bloop.
Where are we? Are we inside the neutral zone?
No, you're in essentially unclaimed space, nearish to Klingon Federation and Romulan space. So you're kind of like in between. I think I do have a map if need be, but
True international waters.
true international waters.
Okay. Yellow alert is still shields up, right?
Yes, usually.
Mhm.
Let's go to yellow alert and continue scans. You are using the modified scans that Heaj and Cherka developed, correct?
That
Those
would be
are-
too Cobra. Yeah.
Yeah, Koba will say, yeah, but those were configured specifically for Klingons, but they might work.
So you are roughly here,
Okay.
between Ikobar and Balduk. Those of you who didn't see this before, I share it now. There you go. An inordinate amount of time passes. Like, it's an uncomfortable amount of time that you've been sitting here, like a whole commercial break.
Okay.
And after some time, it begins to feel almost like something like this is not gonna happen, and this is a bad place to be standing. And a little before, a little after, like about 4 hours of sitting here.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's quite a while.
quite a while. You get a hail, and a ship begins to decloak off the bow.
Okay. Oh, on screen.
Oops, that's main sick bay. That is not what called you. Toshri's face, pops up on the screen. Commander Oneat, it is good to see you. Where is
Oh,
Captain
Commander,
Heaj?
it is good to see you as well. Definitely better than any alternatives. The captain couldn't make this trip, which is why we needed to up the rendezvous, which I deeply, deeply appreciate.
Of course. The commander has been anxious to get back to the ship.
I imagine
you are
I
ready.
didn't leave him with very much information.
Yes. If you are ready, I can beam over your crew.
Yes. Thank you. Lower shields.
There's you get a sense from her, just for a split second of like imminent violence, but it promptly goes away.
Disruptors, full power, destroy all evidence.
Yeah, exactly. I can save myself, but it promptly goes away. And then you get a message from the transporter bay that Commander Ambrose is aboard. Commander Ambrose and company are aboard.
Sub-Commander, I regret I do not have time to sit and talk, as my presence is promptly needed. However, I can't speak for Starfleet, but I would like to offer any aid that Europa can.
I believe the safest thing we can all do at the moment is leave the system. I suspect that if there are Klingons still near the area, they will be coming soon, and we are quite between two very live areas of combat.
Indeed.
We are going to rendezvous. We are going to head towards Narendra Station. With any luck, Chancellor Martok will have good news going forward.
We shall meet you there.
She kind of nods, and then the screen goes out.
I will go down and meet them in the transporter bay.
Well, I imagine Ambrose is already heading to sickbay.
Oh.
Whoops,
Then I will
that's Admiral Aralani, not. There's Ambrose.
So yeah, Disavi would get a conveniently timed message just as the communication screen turns off. Doctor, I'm heading to sickbay. I assume you are either there or will be there shortly.
I'll meet you there. Bring Cherka with you.
Of course. Cherokee, you're with me.
Okay.
Mills, give me a status report.
Sure.
You'll have to go to the bridge for that.
Okay. Like, we just got here. Our status is we have arrived. What do you want?
We're on the Europa. That's a good thing.
Eva seems to be functioning again. I don't know if that's good or bad. All right, so Mills will head to the bridge and get that.
In the meantime, the group on screen. So that's Define is all covered up by me. Whoops, that's not Define. That's the sick bay. Define can go down here. So Chirka, the doctor, and Chirka and Ambrose are walking to the sick bay. Dasavi is going there on her own, and the lot of you basically arrive around the same time. Or you know what? I'm gonna have Ambrose and Chirka arrive first. You arrive, and Define is there, pretty much in charge of the room at the moment. And there are some injuries in sickbay. Most of them are being tended to. There's a definite atmosphere hanging over the a pressure, a presence, whatever, hanging over the sick bay. There's a somberness to the staff in there at the moment. You also see in one of the one of the biobed areas as you're entering, there is a large tube with a worm in it, for lack of better phrasing, a shoe crab worm thing. And you see it just before, just as the Savi is entering in behind you.
Welcome back. I'm sorry to have to go from one crisis to another and without much time for explanation. However, Ensign, Lieutenant, what are you?
Ensign, Jirka.
Ensign. Ensign, I don't even know how to ask you this, so I will do so bluntly. As I'm certain you can surmise, the captain has passed. Sorry, the cat started yelling. And then hid because apparently he didn't really want to leave. Jorad is no longer with us.
Oh,
In a very short matter of time, Heaj will also no longer be with us. You are the nearest unjoined trail and the only one we could get to before the symbiote also expires.
well, you can't be serious. I never applied to be a host.
I gathered when both the Council and Starfleet informed me that the nearest unjoined Trill was 2 weeks away. And from what I have gathered in my many years with Jorad, what I'm asking is no small thing. Both for you as a person and for you as a Trill. I have no doubt the Trill Council will be displeased, but they have two choices and the other is a little more permanent.
I think you might be understating it there. If they find on my planet, wars have been fought over the symbiotes. They are very protective about who,
I understand. Yes, Beth.
I don't think I could.
I will not order this. This is something that should be taken on willingly. I will impress upon you, however, that it's either the Heaj symbiote can borrow you until we can get the both of you to Trill, or we can bury the symbiote with Jorad when we return home.
Her stomach sinks and she just goes.
I don't need an answer now, but I will need one within the next 2 hours. And again, I'm sorry. I know you just got back from what I can only imagine was a very intense mission. And I'm giving you minimal time to decompress and process this. But I assure you, if time were not of the essence, I wouldn't be going this route.
Well, okay, if it's just temporary, then yeah, okay, I think I can manage that.
I presume it would be temporary. My understanding, and granted, we didn't study the joining ceremony because your people keep that very tightly under wraps. My understanding from talking to Jorad is the symbiote can be temporarily housed under normal conditions. This particular symbiote is not well. Jorad sustained a significant amount of radiation damage, and therefore so did the symbiote. But with a healthy host, I don't see why Heaj cannot heal with your help and then be transplanted, I suppose, to its proper host.
Well, the Trill Council won't be, the Symbiosis Commission won't be happy about somebody, an associate taking the symbiote, but I suppose they'll be even less happy if I let it die. And I don't think I could live with myself with that either. All right. Yeah, maybe just for a little while, till we can get it to Trill.
All right. Your actions will definitely not go unnoted. Thank you. We'll go with the Fiend. He will get you prepped, and we will get things moving.
Okay. Well, here's hoping I don't become a completely different person. I guess we'll find out.
And she'll turn to Ambrose.
Ambrose probably would have been at least a few paces away from that conversation. Either looking in on the Heaj symbiote, or I assume at this point, Jorad has been put in some sort of
we've
There's a morgue.
Yeah, morgue. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look on that thing, actually, there's a morgue in that middle room there.
Mm-hmm.
Cherica and Daphne and a few other nurses are going back towards the surgical ward, and they're taking Heaj, so they're all out of the area, so you guys can do what you want to do.
Commander, I have to prep, but I assure you, I will give you a full debrief when we're out of surgery.
I have Mills working on a status report for as much as she can give me.
Wait, Commander, before you go, do you think this is a good idea?
I don't think this is a decision that Starfleet has any jurisdiction over. You're the only one who can answer that. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for, and I know there's not really any other good option. But you're not responsible for the life of Heaj or any of those that came before. He's a sad casualty of these perpetual wars we always seem to be stuck in. But from what I understand, from the admittedly few conversations that I had with Jorad, the Heaj symbiont changed his life. For the better,
Indeed.
he would say. Made him a more confident, complete probably isn't the right word, but I don't know much about the situation. You probably, I'm sure you know more than I do.
For what it's worth, Jorad would not begrudge you your decision either way, but would certainly not be upset about you hosting the symbiote.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I was kind of worried my own mind would be yelling at me. All right, let's. We said we had to hurry, so
Go see to your patients, doctor. Talk later. I'll get the bridge in order.
I'm happy to say you have the bridge.
All right, Dasavi. Let's go ahead and start. And Dafine can assist, as will the ship. Go ahead and give me the start of a whatever those things that we do are called.
Work track thingies. Extended task.
Extended task. That's the thing.
Scientific combat.
Right.
Scientific combat. Your difficulty is 2. Your work track is going to be 15.
That's so many.
You have a resistance of 1.
That's dumb.
That's dumb. You have a magnitude of 3. And you have an interval of 1 hour.
All right.
could
If
we
you remember what those things all mean? Great.
Could we set a limit?
Let me set a limit.
To how many rolls can be done?
Yeah, because as an extended task, like right now, there's like no time, there's no consequence for failure. But if we set a limit where it has to be done by a certain point, or else the symbiote dies.
Well, isn't that where the time frame comes in?
Good.
So the interval is how long it takes between rolls. I was going to add in things like complications and stuff where the symbiote could pass. Let's go ahead and say, since we were going to give a few hours and you didn't need those few hours for your decision, let's say 5 hours. If it goes over 5 rolls, which it probably won't, then it fails, and Heaj and or Chirka die, or both.
All right. So resistance of 1, magnitude of what now?
3.
What are these by me?
I've got all this written down. You don't need to worry about that.
All right.
Basically, as a quick reference as to what it is, difficulty is obviously the difficulty in your roll. 2 is standard difficulty. Work is 15. That's how many damage it can take. Resistance of 1. That's how many it reduces. How much damage reduces by each time. Magnitude is 3. That's essentially how many wounds it takes. And then your interval is an hour. That's how long between each roll essentially is going by in game.
So I figure we're in like those red smocks with the little caps, the Star Trek surgical outfits are for some reason red.
That way you can't see the blood that's on them.
Right, pretty much.
That's the opposite reason why they're not red in the real world.
Yep.
But,
All right. So go ahead and give me your first roll.
I already did.
So you got what was that, 3 successes?
3 successes.
So that is 1 additional momentum.
Plus Dafine and
yeah, Dafine and the computer both help. So
yeah.
Plus you get to re-roll because of Dafine's ability. There's a medicine check, but you got 2 successes anyway.
It didn't register it, but I rolled a 1. Let's re-roll that again, I guess. This time it was 13.
Well, that is still 4 successes. So
Yeah, 2,